Welcome to the TROSAC 2024 Young Advocates Unite. This is a place where passionate young minds come together to tackle the pressing issue of substance abuse. Join the conversation on X, Facebook, and our podcast channel.
Just as I mentioned, the law backs us to regulate tobacco products. And this is because I know when I go for advocacies at the media, on TV sets, on radio, they always bash me. Why is it that FDA you regulate it in the first place? Yes, the World Trade Organization takes it as part of the commodities that has to be patronized. And so if the tobacco industry has to, there are big shots in the world, and they are very rich. Very, very rich. And so I wouldn't want to tamp on it, but then, yes, most of the things that we're seeing in the world are being sponsored by them.
Yeah.
Was it not introduced in Ghana by the Lebanese companies?
I wouldn't say it was introduced to Ghanaians through them. It is the information, the social media, the information technology has begun speaking about.
The dark world.
This is where the dark world, thank you.
Right.
That is where it's coming from. A Lebanese will not come here and hold your hand and say, let's go in. No. We hang out with them, don't we? Yes. So we want to copy with them.
It also began during the slave trade.
They
bring them and the barter trade, the tobacco, the nicotine, and they give them the ivory and what have you.
Yeah.
And so it's a big challenge. And so the WHO, again, advised member states that if you really have this situation in your country, we have something we call the FCTC, the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. There are strategies that they've placed for member states to try and implement in their countries. And so what FDA, we are member states and we've ratified. And so the best thing was to educate people on the harmful use of these products. That is the first thing. Because it's under the WTO, you cannot do anything about it. Unless maybe the whole Ghanaian says, hey, Mr. President, we don't want tobacco in our country.
Which can never happen.
Thank you, Prince. Maybe Auntie Kwesi will tell us, God, we can pray. So that is it. So we can't do anything but then use the FCTC to try and make things better. And so the FDA, in this sense, have put health warnings on these packages. Unfortunately, the shisha importers, when they come, the price that we put on tobacco products is so expensive. We charge on the flavor. We charge per flavor, which is $15,000 US. And you can only bring it within a year. I bet you, I don't know how it will happen. Our porous borders is affecting us as an agency. Look at our potholes from the north. You don't know how it happens. It will be smuggled in. Yeah. And so that is what Africa we are having challenges in. We have our customs at the ports, but we don't know. We have different porous borders. They will say, oh, in this town, there's some small road. When they pass there, they will get into Ghana. So that is the problem we as an agency, we are facing. We will do our possible best to go through our night monitoring. I can tell you the countless people I know, they know me by face now. So I actually don't go doing my seizures again. I actually have to let my junior staffs go rather because I've been pinned. And it's risky for me. I'm a mom. I go out at night, I come back at dawn. Perhaps maybe 5 a.m. before I come and sleep. That is the work, the nature FDA, what we are doing. But yes, I know people would still backlash us and wouldn't know how much we are risking ourselves just to put the safety of our public in our hearts. So basically, I'll say these are the trends. Apart from the nitrous oxide, the shisha, the tramadol. As I mentioned, we have the registered dosage strengths that we need in our country. Again, our porous borders is a factor that they bring in the 2 to 5 milligram plus. Thank you, sis. Yes, the 2 to 5 milligram plus. And that is when they mix it up with the rush drink, The rush is not only the rush that they are drinking. It's not only that. In 2016, we had these alerts of VIP drivers using it, mixing up with their rush so that they will not sleep. The reasons for that is they feel they get energized and so they can drive for long hours. Yeah. Aside that, students were saying when they mix it up and drink, they stay up so well and they are able to consume whatever they are learning. Those were the reasons of using these things. But unfortunately, because of the dependence, the psychoactive substance in them, if you take it gradually, then it's like the withdrawal symptoms, as doctor was saying, you can never go back. The tolerance level then becomes to, increase therein and there. And then that is when it becomes a problem. And so the youth, you see, your friend will mix it up for you. You go for parties. Oh, I do the pan. Then the stronger kakre, And so you go in, and then you go from step 1, then you jump to step 4. So these are the few ones I can put on place.
Apparently,
yes.
Colorado is trending. It's everywhere, from Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Burkina Faso.
The Colorado state in
Colos.
America.
It's popular. It's known in the street language as Colos.
Okay.
And even in Ghana, that is the Colos is far harder than the wheat, the hashish, the purpleless, and all of the anything wheat.
I've heard that. What's hashish?
Hashish is the oily. Okay, look at this. So this is the wheat. This is the wheat tree. During the harvest, as you draw it like this, there is an oil substance that remains in your hand. So you do it like this, and then it becomes into a ball-like form, like egg. And so that, it gives a flavor to the wheat, and the euphoria it gives is higher compared to the wheat. So you wrap your wheat, you want to wrap your wheat, so the hashish, you heat it with a fire, and then you break it, sprinkle it on the wheat, and you wrap. When you wrap and smoke, the feeling it gives you can be 5 times compared to the normal.
I actually thought when you add a weed to the cigar, or they have a different name for that
the
one.
Weed added to the cigar is called capuches.
They really have good street names, appealing ones.
Oh yes, names that look appealing. You can just hear the name and you'll be like, okay, well then let me try. Cocktail. Can you imagine such names? American names, cocktail. But it's actually a death tail. At the long run. You see. So the colors is everywhere now. I witnessed the one guy, when I was still in addiction, I tried just 3 puffs and I fell down. They had to pour water on me. And so with time, after tolerance and codependence sets in, then you get used to it like you smoke cigarette. So the colors is now the major drug that is taking over the Ghanaian ghettos.
How do people do the codependence thing? What is it?
The codependence, those are, okay, so you begin to smoke drug, like in my case, I begin with weed, okay, maybe recreationally, for party. Someone else maybe for sex, excuse my language, someone else for fun. And so you smoke today, the next day, the euphoria, there is a feeling you get, okay? That feeling is indescribable. I am not in any way praising drugs, but I don't know why God do that thing. The feeling is indescribable. It takes to some people, it takes them into their dreams. You want to be a legal practitioner. It will interest you to know that. It will interest you to know that after taking 5 puffs of weed, you can just hallucinate seeing yourself in your law gown, standing in the court, defending someone.
Defending the case.
And so where the madness comes in is where you may be hallucinating you are in the law court. And
Start
then
talking.
then you say, my Lord.
You start talking.
That is where the madness sets in. People are unable to control what they see. That is where they'll tell you that they see things you cannot see. In a way, people who appropriately channel the hallucinations use it to as in give them vim to push harder in life. People are able to channel what they see. They see themselves living their dreams. So few are able to work it out. Those are the Bob Marley you see. When those are few, like the Haile Selassie, like Setawale, when they smoke, they see themselves living the life they want to. So few are able to channel it properly. The unlucky ones succumb to madness and all the negativity that comes with it.
Okay, so just to add up, he was talking about a euphoria. Okay, so the body, we have a hormone, the dopamine. And so that rush, that dopamine rush is what actually pushes you to kind of take once more. And it doesn't care about the end product, whether it will be at risk to your health or not. The most important thing is the gratification. The feeling you get after taking that thing. That is all. And it's been recorded that apart from food, apart from, sex, the next one, the level of gratification that it gives, apart from these two, is taking substance. And so that one is higher. Apart from food, sex, the highest of it all is substance. So when it escalates, it's more than any other pleasure that you've ever had. And so that is how it begins. And when you take it gradually, you start from, they've all mentioned, you start from one
puff.
Yes, and then it goes on and on and on. And so when your body, the tolerance level comes in, your body, your hormones, your blood adjust to it, then somebody will take one, will fall. Your body system has accepted this, that you can take 10 and still be riding.
That's the codependence.
And that is it. And so it depends. It's a hormone, and it's in all of us. So there's a need. All these things that we are talking about boils down to mental health. If we are mentally stable, if we are able to nurture our emotions very well, if we are able to communicate, even children to children, and children also communicating back to parents, and whatever, the people around, the mentors and all that, we wouldn't get to that state of the younger ones even engaging in substances.
So now let me make the whole sitting laugh. You made mention of the dopamine receptors and all those things, ranging from the food, sex, which are the natural things you do where dopamine is released. Okay, so it will interest you to know that addicts, especially those into crack cocaine and heroin, benylene, codeine, raffinol, ice, meth, like the ones I was into, have brainwashed themselves that drug stands out to be the best dopamine releaser. So you can look at this. You can see someone taking heroin. In Ghana, we chase heroin, or you inject, or you cocktail. So you see the drug addict, you do like this, you look at this, you see him like this. You take one line.
The ones that dance by the street.
2 line, 3 line, then you hear, Charlie, this one is sweet past to 2.
Oh my God.
So they have chosen, they have come a long way, destroyed to the extent that they have chosen drug as the best way they release dopamines. They feel ecstatic. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah. And it also boils down to the fact that they think, and that is the feeling, that's the pleasure, okay? The feeling that you have after taking this, the substance use has tended to be, I don't know if I'm also making sense, to be the highest.
Yeah, to them.
To them. Yeah. And so you will take it and you think it makes you feel pleasurable. Like you attain that level of pleasure than any other. So the euphoria. So it is their mindset.
Yeah.
This is it. This is what it gives me. And so apart from any other things, the things that we have mentioned, or the things that give humans pleasure, human beings as pleasure, this one is highest.
That is where the depression comes in. So every drug addict is depressed. Nothing tends to make you happy apart from the drug.
Yes.
At a point in time, when you're a woman, when I was still with my mom, kind of looking fresh some ways, my mother brings woman. She said, Prince, are you sure you're still a man? My mother, because initially I was that fresh boy who, there were ladies all over, I don't bring ladies home anymore. And also my mom was like contemplating, Prince, excuse me, do you still wake up as a man? So sometimes the sales girls, she intentionally bring them home, my room, they should sleep in my room. I will not even look at you. What I find joy in cocaine and heroin.
Yeah. Not even.
So that is where the depression comes in. Nothing makes you happy. Except that. Except it becomes like the air you breathe. You can compare drugs to a drug addict, like the air you breathe. Because I remember selling my clothing in Accra here just to be able to get drugs. I am not saying this because I'm proud of it, but to educate someone. Okay? I came to Accra after smoking 5,000 Ghana cedi in Achimota after 4 days. The dress I was wearing with my good dress, the drug dealer said he likes it. And so I have to remove the top first, remove the down, and now I was left in boxer short. Now how will he go home? So now I have to play madness. Oh. That was how destroyed we were. That is what drugs has done to us. After 3-4 years in drugs, I have to be making like I'm mad. Then along the line, I get someone's dress on the line, then I wear. So what can you compare this to? You value it more than the food you eat. Food are less things. Like the air you breathe. Without it, if there is no drugs in Achimota or Tudu, the day the country will be declared that there is no drugs in Ghana, you will see what will happen in Ghana.
That's true.
Mr. Nixon.
That's a withdrawal.
Yeah.
Withdrawal.
I don't even know how true this is, because sometimes I hear people say that it cures asthma.
No, those are misconceptions.
Oh, for real? I hear people say that, yeah, like the herbs cures
There may
asthma.
be a substance in the weed that cures asthma. There may be. I'm not sure about it. I don't know how authentic that is, but
It's not true.
Doc.
So the other part. The other part of the conversation where people look at, like the cancer that I mentioned that Julie was talking about, people say, okay, so the degree of pain some of the cancer patients go through, they take the weed to suppress. You had to take.
I have Crohn's disease.
Okay.
So I have a level of pain that I endure on a regular basis. And so it got to the point to whereas the pain that I was having, even if you give me the highest dose of pain medicine in the hospital, morphine, none of them will work. I had an epidural in my back to the point where you're giving me injection in my back of pain medicine. I will take it. Then 2 hours later, I'm still in pain. Now you have to give me oral. So it was said that I had a psychiatrist. He had Crohn's disease and his sons had Crohn's disease. So they was working on, his sons was extracting the THC to use it as a pain medicine. And they started using it so that therefore those of us that, experience the pain levels, we can take it. So I was taking it, but it became like this thing, like I don't like the way I feel. I don't like to have to keep taking this. So I was like, no, you know what? For me, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be on I don't want nothing. If I can't survive, then I'll just die. That's how it came in my mind. So even with that, then they wanted to try all these other things. But it is said, for some people it works. But for others, if you don't know how to manage it, then you can become an addict. Yes. Because it really affects all of you.
I wanted us to touch on, I think because of Julie Cook, I wanted us to touch on what Julie mentioned the media and how, because as a media consultant, I think I can only speak from that perspective. When my foremost concern has to do with messaging and communication, I think there are a lot of people downplay the essence of communication and messaging, regardless of whatever shape or form it comes in. So people see it like, oh, somebody is just doing a video, or somebody is just putting up content out there. What we are doing today in our part of the world is we have subjected, our children, our youth to education on the media. So you can have a parent that maybe lives at Downfa, or they live at Oyarifa. Probably they're coming all the way from this place that I was on Sunday, on the Dodowa Road, Malejo, So because the lands in the city are quite expensive, people are purchasing lands a little far away from town. And when people live very far away from town, they wake up very early to come to town. And so you can find children as young as about 7, 8. A parent woke them up at 4. And they are sleeping in the back seat of the car, on the right to a car. Or you may have a teenager who is also there, partially sleeping, getting up intermittently and all that. So the parent is not necessarily in their lives. It's all about take you up, drop you off, go to work. I pick you up later, go home, and maybe the time you even get home is very late. You don't get to participate in the child's life. So where does the child actually get the nourishment, the upbringing, the education? So whatever people are learning today, nothing is really coming from parents. So parents have a higher responsibility as compared to before. Before, almost every person could see you in view. Jules can penalize you. Dr. Papa can punish you. Smart can punish you. Chrissy can punish you. But today is a world of rights because of what we are learning on social media. It's difficult to correct people because Child Rights International is also fighting for people's rights. Don't do this, don't do that. Children are allowed to use their phones in classrooms and all that. As a media person, I know what goes into what people see. How we intentionally engineer things for people to believe that is it. Okay, so we have young people today who, here's an example I give a lot of people. The reason why the young girls are showing themselves on social media is not because culture has lost it. That's not the reason. It is because society is rewarding nakedness.
Exactly.
So, as a young lady who is probably 16 or 17, she's in school and she's seeing that this lady that used to show her breast, used to show her nakedness, a company has called her and made her an ambassador. So, at the back of her mind, that is how the world is engineered. So like Prince was saying, this lady wakes up every morning and she's doing it. She's doing it. Nobody is coming to give her the brand ambassadorial deal. So now she thinks there's something wrong. Depression starts setting in. She's like, me my son will be in me. Follow, make a follow. And they keep doing that all night. So you ask yourself, what would make an 18-year-old girl, 16-year-old girl, stay live on TikTok from 12 midnight all through to 5 a.m.? What would make somebody do that? It is the quest for fame. Yes, to market themselves. But how do you market yourself easily? We say in the media circles, sex sells. So if you can do something that is why I blasted a friend of mine when people were agitating that there was a gentleman who was doing adverts on TikTok about Kivo. And Kivo bypassed him to give a deal to Nana Brown. Now let me teach you something. When it comes to media and business, the focus is on influence. It's not about who is fooling. If okay, as a marketing executive, if Nana Brown steps into Malamata market, the kind of eyes and the rush that will come from the mothers, is bigger than what Smart would gather when he enters Malamata market.
Fact.
You understand me? Smart may be popular on TikTok, but if Smart enters Mala market, how many women will get up? So when we are taking business decisions, it's not about who has been using the Kivo Gary mix to do videos on TikTok. That's not what we are looking at. We're looking at impact. Worst off, what we can do is we can give that person an influencer deal that in the next 1 month, post about Kivo. We have seen that people like your content, so post about Kivo. If somebody doesn't receive this message well, they will think that they are putting so much energy. So there are young people laboring in nothing because the whole mindset is that I am doing this so that I would get a particular deal. So if the deal doesn't come, they try something else. If that deal doesn't come, they try something else. So you will find very young people trying too many things at a time. And nobody has an idea of what they are doing because they do not even understand how the media market works. So whatever we are consuming as young people, whatever we see on social media, whatever that we are seeing even on TV, at the end of the day, we should ask ourselves, is this where we really want to be? Because today, the laughing gas, the clubs, the parties we are attending, we are seeing videos of it, and sometimes, you know, you would watch a 1 minute video and every kind of fun is in that 1 minute. Yes, but you have no idea that all these things happen at separate times. But we were so good at our editing, we put 15 seconds of everything in there, and you are watching something in 1 minute. And the moment you're done watching the video, you're like, I want this experience.
That's true.
I want this experience.
Yeah.
So we are being moved by messaging so much so that today, there are people who would go to a restaurant and now later come and write on Facebook or do a video on TikTok and say, their food is not nice.
Yeah.
These people, they have all the aesthetics, their lighting is good, but their food doesn't taste good, their juice was bad, I will rate it 2/10 and things like that. It's because the world we are envisioning is not reality. It's not the reality. So I would add my voice to the fact that parents have a higher responsibility. Bigger brothers and bigger sisters have a higher responsibility. We must really be concerned about what people are consuming. We have people here who are not even following their own brothers and sisters on social media.
That's so true.
So we don't know what they post. We don't even know what they're engaging in. And the problem is not even about we following them. It's about the fact that they are even on there with fake names. Yes. Breezy. And, you know, and all kinds of stuff. So we should be very, very much interested in the way society, it's no fault of ours, that society is decoupling parenting from how we raise people today. So everybody is having the need for survival, not the need to do good. So we are all looking at, how can I get the next business? How can I get the next contract? So when we get home, it's all about the job. And we pay little or no attention to the young people who are around us. I think that we have a higher responsibility. And I'm glad, friends, I'm really, really glad. I was really hoping to meet you one day and tell you that that particular message you gave to the teacher, and God bless you so, you know, you didn't even know he was recording, but that message you gave teaches us one thing, that the young people we are neglecting today, the young people we are not talking about today, me, I'm a bit of a traditional person. I don't care who you are. If I'm sitting on the show with you and you are lying, I'll put you in your place. Because I take time to read. So I don't expect people, I know the power you have when you are sitting on TV. I know the power you have when you put a camera in front of you to say something to the world. So if you have that opportunity and you're telling people about a product, I think we should have a session where we deal with misconception of substance use. A full-blown session where every myth that is surrounded on a particular substance use, or if you use this, you do that. We must begin to blow those myths out so that people have a better understanding of all these substances use. You know.
I think that on that note too, a lot of people, if we are trying to trash that out of it, there are a lot of people that also whatever they say about substance abuse is what they feel. So I don't know how we are going to handle that, because the person is talking out of experience or feeling. So how we...
Yeah, so with that, I think that there is a technical term the critical thinkers use for this approach. Is it illegitimate appeal to authority?